101.4, the local station. Live from WJXT, the 10 o'clock news starts now.
Two families still waiting for justice. The parents of Jordan Davis and Michael Dunn leave the Duval County Courthouse as jurors end a second night without a verdict. The Dunns too emotional to talk, while Davis's mother looks beyond the immediate future.
We believe that justice will be served, and no matter what happens, we'll move forward. We will move forward no matter what.
The Davis family and the Dunn family and Jacksonville all hoping the jury will move forward tomorrow and reach a verdict on the 12th day since this trial began.
They'll return at 9 in the morning, and when they began deliberating last night, they put in 3 hours electing a foreman and beginning to sift through the evidence and testimony. Today, they went at it for 8 more hours, bringing the 2-day total to 11 hours, trying to reach verdicts on 5 charges. Judge Russell Healy sent the 7 women and 5 men back to their hotel shortly after 6 o'clock this evening, and he thanked them for their hard work. The jury started the day viewing surveillance video from the Gate gas station where Dunn shot and killed the 17-year-old Wolfson High School student in November of 2012. They saw views from different cameras, both 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after the shooting. They also had several questions for the court today. The first was a request to see a dummy that was used Monday during the medical examiner's testimony for the prosecution. The judge rejected the request because the dummy, which he nicknamed Bendy, was part of a courtroom demonstration and is not actually evidence. They also asked for a dry erase board or easel, which they received. And they asked for and were given some pages that were missing from one juror's printed jury instructions. That request was also filled.
While we continue to wait for a verdict, Channel 4 has been digging deeper into every angle of this trial. We begin with Joy Purdy, who has more on what the Davis family had to say about this long day of waiting. Joy.
Tom, Mary, Jordan Davis's parents say they hope the jury reaches a verdict at least by this weekend. They reminded us that Sunday is their son's birthday, and they would like to focus on praying for their son that day, not on this trial, which they say has been extremely taxing on them emotionally. Jordan Davis's parents. They've sat in on Michael Dunn's trial every day, hearing how their son was shot, the details of his last breaths, the reasons why Dunn claims he pulled the trigger.
It's been very, very hard all this time to be patient this past year and to continue being as patient as the hours and the minutes go by. But we're convinced that there will be a good, just verdict, and we patiently wait for that, and we're always hopeful.
Speaking with the horde of media who met them on the courthouse steps, Davis's parents were asked what they hope the reaction will be by the public, no matter the verdict.
If we're all going to live in the same community, is to be respectful of the jury process. You know, they're working hard, trying to make a just decision, and no matter what, some families are going to smile and some families are going to cry, you know. And so I know personally I'm going to be respectful of that, because if we get the verdict that we want, I mean, his family is not going to smile. They're going to have tears in their eyes. So I'm going to be very respectful of that.
Davis's parents say they're encouraged by the time the jury's taking to reach a verdict, because it's not just all of Jacksonville that's watching.
I think that it's a good thing, because they're thorough. They're being thorough, and that's all you want. You want a fair and just decision, and I think they're taking great care of being thorough, because the spotlight is on Jacksonville all over the world.
I think that he would just be proud that we're fighting not just for him, but we're really standing and fighting for, you know, the nation, for all the people that have died, you know, due to the gun laws and everything. I think that he would be proud that we're standing strong as a family.
Now, Michael Dunn's family has been in the courtroom every day of the trial as well. Dunn's lawyer, Corey Strolla, explained today why Dunn's family hasn't spoken publicly yet about this trial or about all the emotions they're feeling.
And I can tell you, I did talk to his mom and dad. They do want to clear some things up. They want to get out. But to be honest with you, I even asked them if they wanted just to read a statement. And Mr. Dunn's response to me was, you know, Corey, if I do that, I'm going to hysterically cry.
This murder case has reached an international audience. Among the media set up outside at the courthouse during this trial has been CNN, Fox News, even Al Jazeera. And tonight, Jordan Davis's father mentioned that he's received text messages from people around the world. Mary?
Thanks, Joy. Well, tensions are high as jurors deliberate the fate of Michael Dunn. Security is a concern, especially for the moments after a verdict is reached. Channel 4's Scott Johnson joins us live. He went over the security layout of the courthouse with Channel 4 crime analyst Ken Jefferson. And Scott, I understand while you were working on this story, a bomb threat was called into the courthouse.
Yeah, late this afternoon, Mary, turns out there was no credibility to it. They searched the area. No bomb was found. The sheriff's office says there was no threat here. But this shows that there is a security concern. So when this verdict is read, particularly right where I'm at, the main courthouse door, you will have a lot of police. Expected a lot of protesters as well. I walked the grounds with Channel 4 crime analyst Ken Jefferson to see all the different places police will have to be. The fate of Michael Dunn has already drawn protesters, and we really don't know what his fate will be yet. But police are preparing for any potential fallout around the Duval County Courthouse.
Their concern is for the safety of the protesters, as well as innocent victims that's coming and going from the courthouse.
Channel 4 crime analyst Ken Jefferson and I walked the perimeter around the courthouse and looked at an aerial view. He says officers will be on all sides with their primary focus on the front entrance. Some sort of civil unrest happens right here. So the officers from here, or inside, where are they going to come from?
Well, you're going to have officers placed closer to the front. Now, they may start off here, but they're going to be placed closer to the front simply because that's where your jurors are going to be coming out, that's where your public is going to be coming out, and that's where the family is going to be coming out.
He says uniformed officers as well as plainclothes ones will be at the courthouse along with reserves.
They may be 1 or 2 blocks away. Just don't stand by in the event that something breaks out where they need additional manpower.
Ken says security will also concern themselves with transporting Michael Dunn back to the jail, even if he's found not guilty, to be processed out as a free man.
They have to process him out, and to get him out of the courthouse, they have a strategic way that they get him out and transport him, more than likely without the public seeing.
And Ken also suspects there will be officers tasked with looking out from high above, from adjacent buildings at the crowds to watch for any problem people who might be suspicious and help police know where to dispatch extra personnel. We're live at the Duval County Courthouse. Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
Since the testimony began, we've seen legal dueling between attorneys on both sides in the courtroom. Today, with the jury behind closed doors, defense attorney Corey Strolla and John Phillips, the attorney for the Davis family, did some verbal dueling in separate appearances before reporters. Channel 4's Kent Justice is joining us now live. Kent, we've heard from Phillips many times in the past 15 months, but not from Strolla. Right. And Kent, I can't remember the last time a defense attorney held a news conference while the jury was still out.
Yeah, most of what we've heard from Corey Strolla as Michael Dunn's attorney has happened in the courtroom. And then today's very surprising, very unusual announcement that he would hold a news conference. And now, in the wake of that, the question seems to be, why talk now before the verdict is in?
I've pretty much ignored you as much as possible throughout the trial, so I apologize for that.
Defense attorney Corey Strolla followed his apology for not talking by speaking for more than 10 minutes, answering questions about his client, about the case, even about his theories on why Michael Dunn is standing trial right now.
I could see that the police and then the detectives did not investigate what they should have investigated. And to be honest, I think they thought this was just another typical shooting in Jacksonville, Florida. No offense to you guys in Jacksonville, but you have the dubious distinction of the murder capital of Florida.
A lot of the things that he said today I take exception with. I find offensive.
John Phillips represents Jordan Davis's family and filed a civil suit against Dunn. Phillips says the suit was settled. Strolla says Dunn didn't agree to a settlement even if it happened.
Did he agree or he didn't? He did agree. There was an offer. We made the same offer from day one as to the day it was accepted back in December. There was an acceptance. Period. There was no negotiation other than, will you accept? Okay. I was shocked they accepted.
He absolutely did not settle. And I know the Davis family put in there that they were shocked that he did. There was never a phone call from the civil attorneys to Mr. Dunn. In fact, there are letters from Michael Dunn to the civil attorneys telling them, I am not agreeing to any settlement for any amount. And under Florida law, if a person is found not guilty using justifiable use of deadly force, they are precluded from seeking a civil settlement.
I don't see how it helps him at all, and I could see how it could possibly hurt him.
Law school professor Rod Sullivan says it's very unusual to see someone in Strolla's position hold a news conference before the verdict. Sullivan doesn't seem to like the idea either.
It's really a very dangerous thing to do for your client. And I think sometimes lawyers tend to forget that this is the client's case. It's not your case as the lawyer. And so if you are using press coverage to your own personal advantage and not to your client's advantage, you're doing your client a disservice.
Sullivan says he teaches his students don't talk to the media unless there's a clear advantage for your client, that there's a clear purpose, and that it's going to help your client in some way. In his opinion, Strolla should have waited until the verdict was in. Live at the courthouse, Kent Justice, Channel 4, the local station.
Kent, did anyone today ask Strolla why he was taking this unusual step, holding a news conference before the verdict? And I'm wondering, did he open himself up to criticism that he was doing a little self-promotion?
Well, I know we heard some criticism from that law school professor. Rod Sullivan said that he thought there was some self-promoting going on there, and he criticized that by saying you can't take your eyes off of the client. It's got to be what's good for the client rather than some interest you might have. Again, he was saying that it's got to be client-focused, and in his opinion, it should have happened after the verdict comes out, whenever that happens, from this jury. Tom?
Kent Justice reporting to us live from downtown.
Channel 4's coverage of the Michael Dunn verdict watch will continue tomorrow at 4:30 on the morning show with live reports from Erica Rayco. If there is a verdict tomorrow, we'll bring it to you live on the local station. And you can join the conversation by taking part in our live chat online at news4jax.com. You can also watch every moment of testimony since the trial began. A crippling blow from Mother Nature.